Hey chickies, I hope you're all doing okay out there. Now today we are doing Halloween, but we're not just doing one nail art, we're doing two. So I really hope you like it. They're really easy to do. Let's get into it. Now for the first nail art, we're only going to be using two polishes, and that is firstly the matte top coat. Of course, the link is in the description box down below as per usual. Also, we'll be using just a base coat. Now it's a slightly pinkish base coat. It's called Nail Nutrition. Again, link is down below. I love this. I've been using it for months. It's absolutely amazing. Now I'm really sorry I didn't film the painting of the base coat, but you've already seen me paint my nails before. Now for this nail art we're doing the Spooky Cats, and we're using these nail vinyls, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I got them from, but if you just Google nail vinyls, you'll be able to find lots of different places to buy these sorts of things. Now with these ones in particular, you can either use the actual nail vinyl in the way it was intended to be used in the first place, just like this, put it on your nail and then use a sponge, or you can paint directly using the nail brush, although you have to make sure you've got a really, it's adhered really well to your nail if you're going to use a nail brush. Either way, you do sometimes get some bleeding, but don't be too concerned about that. It's not that big of a deal. Now, I'm not using polish for this next step. I'm using black acrylic craft paint. I thought this was a genius idea. It didn't turn out badly, but it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, and then I made up a story to make myself feel better later on, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. It's not a fancy story or anything like that, but with the end result of the nail art, you'll see why I made up this teeny tiny little story about why it was okay that this particular nail turned out the way it did. Anyway, so we're just using the edge of a sponge to sponge the black acrylic craft paint over the nail vinyl. Now I'm not using anything to protect anything around the nail vinyl because I'm just using the very corner of the sponge, and I didn't get it anywhere else on my nail than where I actually wanted it to be anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So once you have the coverage you think you're happy with, you can go ahead and peel that off. Just be quite gentle, but you want to do it as quickly as possible. You don't want to wait for the paint to dry. They can be a little bit sticky, but as you can see, a little bit of bleeding. So I'm just going to clean up around his little tail. It's not that much of it's not that bad, but in the end, because it was a little bit fuzzy around the edges, I just decided that this was the angry cat, as opposed to the next one I'm going to show you, where I have a much crisper sort of end result. Now for the next nail, all I decided was to take the other part of the nail vinyl and put it at the edge of my nail and just stick it on there like that. They can be very sticky and a bit tricky to put on, but when you get them on, when you're not trying to film something as well, it's much easier. But when you get them on, they stick really, 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 really well. So I've done this quite a lot, where I've used the negative, the positive image as the nail art, as opposed to and that way actually it's a really good tip, I guess, because you get almost like a double go at some of these vinyls. So you can use it the traditional way, or you can use it this way. And just to stick it down really, really flush to my nail, you can see I used a nail stamping, a squishy nail stamper, and that helps to really adhere it to your nail. Now, I didn't want to just leave it like that, so I wanted to make it a little bit more sort of, just make it look a little better, because just having cats on your nails, although that's fine, but I wanted them to sort of be in a black grass, I suppose. So yeah, that kind of thing. Anyway, so this brush that I'm using right now is the first time I've ever used this brush. I bought them on, I think, Amazon about 4 months ago, and this is the first time I'm using it. It doesn't actually work the way I thought it was going to. I thought that was going to give me a really nice sort of black French tip, and it didn't, so that's fine. And I'm not saying it's a terrible brush, but I'm saying it didn't work the way it did on the videos that I watched before I bought this brush, which was the whole reason why I bought a whole set. You'll see them all eventually. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stuff all of the nail art that I do with them up, because I don't know how they do those videos with these. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos of those brushes, those sets of brushes, and they're doing amazing nail art with them, and it's all very, very fabulous. But when you get them, when you finally purchase them and then you get them and they're not nearly as good as you thought that they were going to be, and I don't know, maybe it's just that I'm not talented enough to do what they did on those videos. I don't know. Anywho, doesn't matter. So, as I always do, I change my tactic and do different things based off of the mistakes I've made. So, just like everyone else. Anyway, so I basically, you can see that, I don't know if you can see it, like right at the edge of the brush, there's these wayward little bristles, and I didn't realize that until after I'd already started, and I couldn't be bothered starting all over again, so I just went with it. And so in the end result is that it basically looks like the cats are standing around in grass. And the one that I did with the black acrylic craft paint, the cat in particular, that's not really crisp, it's not the sticker one, I just think looks angry, because the other cat, the sticker cat, is in his backyard and he's mad about it. So you know how a cat's hair goes up on end when they're angry? That's what I was going with. Anyway, long story short, once it's all dry, you can go ahead and seal it in with your favourite top coat. It's up to you if you want to recreate something like this, but I really liked it in the end. As per usual, I really loved it in the end. I think it looked really, really funny. Not funny, really cool. So anyway, up to you. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, I mattified the entire thing once. I always do a top coat, a regular top coat first, and then I come in with a good quality matte top coat. Of course, down in the description box is the link to this one that I'm using, which is really, really good. And that's it for this one. I really hope you liked it. Now let's get into the second one, which is, again, super easy, and I'm using these nail vinyls. These are just crosses, and I'm basically, I guess you could call it like a Morticia nail art. So it's basically the same thing. We're using the actual positive image from the nail vinyl and using that in place of the traditional nail vinyl. These come in these little rectangles, and you peel them off, and the negative space is these little crosses. So I'm going to put this little cross on my nail, and then I'm going to do some striping nail art. Now we're going to come in with some striping nail art. Striping nail art, but with some striped nail vinyls. And we're going to section the nail in two places. We're going to do a thinner line, and then we're going to fill out the tips. So it's going to be like a Morticia kind of French tip, I guess. Yeah, you could call it that. Now, once you've got your nail varnish down, you can come in with your French tip color. I'm using Dark and Stormy. It is almost like a dark, I mean, it's almost black, but it's like a dark gray. It's really, really nice. Ignore the little hair at the end of my nail. We'll just get rid of that, shall we? They are so annoying, and you never know where they're coming from. It's so annoying, but anyway, it's fine. So once you've painted on your tip color, you don't want to let it dry. That's one of the most, like, the top tips for using nail art striping tape or straight vinyls or anything like that, even the vinyls themselves. You don't want to let the paint dry. You want to take those guides off as soon as possible. It's really, really important. Moving on to the next nail, you want to go ahead and repeat that process if you want to. You could only do it with one nail, or you could do it with all of your nails. It's up to you, but we're going to go ahead and repeat it. Going to want to hang 10 for a little bit before everything. You want to wait until everything is completely dry, and then you can go ahead and seal it all in with your favorite top coat, as per usual. And that's it for this one. I really hope you liked it. I really enjoyed doing these ones. They were lots of fun. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and don't forget to go to the link down below. Click on the link. Go and have a look at the website. See what you think and maybe get some stuff. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies.